KSAT 12. The 6 o'clock news starts right now.
A local man has a warning for anyone who owns a vehicle. Lock your doors and be alert. He says that he was the victim of a group of car thieves in several Northeast Side neighborhoods.
They stole his SUV right out of his own driveway. As Katrina Weber reports, the crooks were caught on camera, and now neighbors are hoping police will catch them too.
I guess they kind of came over here in this area.
He can just about picture the whole thing in his mind, but thanks to a neighbor, Bradley Garcia also has surveillance video of the people who stole his 2019 Ford Expedition from his driveway in Longs Creek early Wednesday morning.
My daughter was going to take my granddaughter to school. She woke up and she was like, "Your car's missing. Where's it at?"
He didn't realize it was gone until his daughter went looking for it later.
My wife's truck, she was blocking the driveway here.
Even with his wife's car blocking the driveway, the video shows the suspects driving over his neighbor's lawn. The whole time their lookouts kept watch, then left in a dark compact car.
Pretty sad, you know. I mean, like, you work hard, try to have nice things, and somebody just wants to take it away from you.
Garcia took to social media, posting what happened to him on a neighborhood app. He says he was surprised to see comment after comment from people in this neighborhood and several others nearby who all believe that they've had their vehicles or property stolen by the same group. Over in the Longs Ridge neighborhood, cameras caught another crime. Megan Garza shared this video of what looks like the same people breaking into her husband's truck, but his alarm scared them off.
That group of people, they're hitting all the neighborhoods. Could be anybody's neighborhood now.
While Garcia may not get his SUV back, there is something he wished they'd return. 4 car seats the stay-at-home dad used to shuttle around his children and grandchildren. Katrina Weber, KSAT 12 News.
Now new at 6, a horse senselessly shot and left to die in a far south side ranch, and its owners are wondering why. The Bexar County Sheriff's Office is investigating this as an animal cruelty case, and Garrett Berger talks with the owner.
At the corner of Neal and Pleasanton Roads sits a peaceful 16-acre pasture where Patricia Sharman and her husband let their livestock roam. But in the dark of night earlier this week, someone turned it into a shooting range.
We think that's where because you can see the kick-out spot there.
Sharman says her neighbor was the first to find their mare, Stormy, lying dead on Thursday morning. A blood trail in the pasture showing how the horse stumbled and collapsed, eventually dying with gruesome wounds.
Her front knee was blown out, and her front shoulder we found was broken.
The horse was shot at least 4 times, she says. A witness, who asked not to be identified, told KSAT they saw a white car, a Dodge they believe, by the pasture around 10:30 Wednesday night. As it slowly drove off, someone in it fired 10 to 12 rounds. The sheriff's office says they have evidence the shooter used a rifle.
When he asked the sheriff where they were finding the casings, and he asked him, was it a .223? And he says, no, it was a 5.56.
Sharman says investigators asked if it could be retaliation for something, but she doesn't think it's likely. She's a retiree and her husband's a pastor.
I think that that they just wanted something to kill.
Though she wants to forgive, she can't yet.
If I prayed for you what I wish for you now, it wouldn't glorify God.
Right now, she just wants the shooter caught.
Sharman wants anybody who might know something about the shooting to come forward and contact investigators. We've got the number on your screen. I'm Garrett Berger, KSAT 12 News.
Yeah, so more to that point, the sheriff's office wants anyone with information on this to call Crime Stoppers, because if your tip leads to an arrest, you can get $5 grand. Now, again, that number is right there on your screen. It's 210-224-STOP.
We now know the name of a woman killed in a crash on the city's northeast side. According to the Bexar County Medical Examiner, 31-year-old Emerald Maddle was killed in that crash Wednesday. It happened around 10 o'clock on O'Connor Road near Wurzbach and I-35. San Antonio police say that Maddle was driving a motorcycle on O'Connor when a Ford Ranger tried to make a left turn and hit her. Maddle then managed to get up, but was hit by another small red truck driving by. EMS pronounced her dead there at the scene. That driver took off, and so far that person has not been found.
As officials investigate last week's tragedy at Astro World Music Festival, a local law firm has filed 4 more lawsuits just this afternoon, and this is coming after a 9th person died after being hurt at that event. The KSAT Ornelas law firm is representing people from San Antonio, El Paso, and Laredo. And one of them is 28-year-old Héctor Pescador. He drove 2 hours from Laredo and spoke about why he's suing. He was at that concert and he suffered internal bruising from the crowd surge. And he says that he also saw at least 3 people die.
I saw these people being carried out thinking that, dehydration, they didn't eat anything. I did not expect them to be deceased already. And the fact that they didn't stop the concert before that, I don't understand.
Now, his attorneys also revealed that they found evidence that the event organizers were, quote, cutting corners when hiring security. That law firm has filed 4 suits, as we said earlier, but also expects to file more.
In the San Antonio Independent School District, COVID-19 vaccine clinics for ages 5 to 11 have now begun. SAISD has partnered with South Texas Allergy and Asthma Medical Professionals, or STAMP as they're known, to get kids protected. Registered students received their first dose of the Pfizer vaccine this afternoon. That was at the Burnett Building in Southtown. Alicia Barrera takes us to today's clinic, and she talks about how parents can register for the next one.
Lily Jade, an SAISD 4th grader, says she now has more peace of mind.
Honestly, I just wanted to be safe, and I didn't really want to get sick, and I didn't want to cause it for her to get sick.
STAMP medical staff has vaccinated about 200 kids ages 5 to 11. And although a bit nervous leading up to this moment, Lily came to this decision on her own.
She's seen so many people pass, families, and it really made her scared and paranoid to go to the grocery store, and she was all for it.
Parents say it was an easy process thanks to support staff like Leia. The biggest hurdle, however, is getting weary parents on board to get their kids vaccinated.
I understand their anxiety, but the science behind it is actually pretty solid, and although it did come out to market faster than most vaccines will, it did not skip any of the FDA required steps.
Interim Superintendent Robert Jackledge says the vaccine clinics aim for equity and helping keep kids in school.
By providing vaccinations for all of these stakeholders allows us to keep our commitment to keeping them safe, healthy, allowing them to enjoy their families over the holidays.
Holiday reunions students and their families are already looking forward to.
It makes me feel happy because I kind of want to go with my Theo.
Well, the demand among SAISD parents is definitely there. There's a huge demand. It's evident they've been waiting for a long time, so much so that these weekends clinics that have been open for quite some time, well, the registration is already full. So if you're an SAISD parent still waiting to get your child vaccinated, your chances next Thursday through the weekend, November 18th through 20th on KSAT.com. We have those dates listed as well as a link to register. Reporting live, Alicia Barrera, KSAT 12 News.
All right, more opportunities on the way. Thanks, Alicia. It is just around the corner, Thanksgiving, and the turkey will likely cost you noticeably more this year. At Beatrix Meat Market, their incoming supply of fresh turkeys, it's already claimed.
I even have a cancellation list. I have about 20 people on my cancellation list for smaller turkeys.
So you're sold out?
Sold out completely.
He does have some frozen birds, but says the small, fresh, all-natural turkeys were hard to find, and they cost him about 30% more. Some of that, yes, passed along to customers. Prices are up because turkey production is down. Now, before you panic, experts tell us there are plenty of frozen turkeys, but it might be a challenge to find those fresh, small turkeys. They say be flexible, shop early. And by the way, we did check prices today, both at H-E-B and Walmart. They had frozen turkeys on sale for 87 cents a pound. Let's take a look outside with live cam right now. 69 degrees, rounding out a beautiful week. It's a nice night to be out, and Adam Caskey is.
That's right. He's on the scene there at the Wonderland?
Morgan's Wonderland Camp. This is a gem in our community. Let's go to Adam.
It is. And a lot of people have heard about Morgan's Wonderland. You may not be familiar with the brand new state-of-the-art Morgan's Wonderland Camp. You're going to learn more right after this newscast, 7 o'clock. We've got our annual gala. It's an hour-long program, and then an in-person program that's streaming online starting at 8 o'clock. So right after this newscast, we're just going to breeze right into it. We've moved up since the 5 p.m. to Joy's Compass, where you get a nice vista. And I tell you, there's a fire pit here. It'd be nice to stoke that up tonight, because already we're starting to feel a little bit of that chill in the air from the north wind that moved in. Weak little cold front moved through. We actually made it to 80 degrees earlier today. That was at about 4 p.m. Temperatures are quickly falling off. I know I'm in short sleeves right now, but I do have a jacket in my car. That's going to be needed later on tonight. Aquifer up 0.2 of a foot today. We're right near average for this time of year. Pollen count, just mold reported. It's moderate now, so it's up a little bit, but I swear I am feeling something a little extra in my eyes as I've been out here for a few hours. So I wouldn't be surprised if the new allergens, cedars, start creeping their way into the count. Hey, I'll have your full forecast, talk about how cool it's going to get and where tonight, the whole weekend forecast, how temperatures rebound, and even a little cold front for next week in just a bit.
Welcome back. Now, getting students back on track tonight on the Night Beat, the state program that hopes to help kids gain the education that they lost during the pandemic. Really important stuff. Plus, street racing concerns in one far north side neighborhood. 2 cars barreling through a backyard, and homeowners say they've had enough. Tonight on the Night Beat, how the county is responding to their concerns.
Let's turn to traffic now. Some delays on the roads if you are heading out this evening.
That's right. Now our Samuel King joins us now with the latest. So what's going on out there, Sam?
Hi there, Stephanie and Myra. We're taking a look at 37 and Loop 410. Loop 410, there was a crash, but within the past 5 minutes or so, that has cleared up. So we can take a closer look at that. Traffic now beginning to flow, and that's good news because there was a major slowdown here in this area. You can see still in the red for about 5 miles, so that's a major delay, but as you saw, traffic is starting to move there. Now out here on the west side, we do have some construction to tell you about. This was supposed to be wrapped up earlier in the week, but there's been some delays. So the Loop 410 southbound frontage road between Marbach and U.S. Highway 90, that's going to be closed beginning at 7 o'clock through 6 a.m. Hopefully that does get wrapped up tonight. And you see some delays a little bit south of Highway 90. Here's looking at Loop 410 on the east side. We mentioned those delays. Usually we see them northbound. Now we're seeing them southbound, so about a half hour, a little more so, between 35 and 37. But only 14 minutes heading the other direction. So that's good there. But this is that look there at 37. And take one more look here on the west side. This is Loop 1604. Slow traffic there this evening. So if you're heading out and about, maybe high school football or maybe up to other things this evening, keep the traffic delays in mind, guys.
All right. Thank you, Sam.
Let's take a look outside with Sky 12. Beautiful shot flying over the city, and you know, it hasn't gotten old yet. Looking outside and seeing the lights at this time of night, it's a nice night to be out.
Super exciting because, you know, in a few weeks, people are going to start putting their Christmas lights up, and it's going to be even prettier.
Some already have. They're waiting
right.
for the weather to cool down. Some are already listening to Christmas carols.
This is true. It's never too. Yeah, I know. I'm all about it, too. I love Christmas time. 69 degrees right now, and our Adam Caskey is joining us live from Morgan's Wonderland. So I'm wondering what's the when it's going to get cold enough for you to go and get your jacket.
What's my threshold without a fire going?
Yes.
That's a good question. I am feeling a bit of that breeze out of the north right now, which is noticeable, but I'd give it another hour, especially if I'm just outside the whole time, and I'd have to get it. So probably when it gets down into the upper 50s, I think it'd be good for me to do that. But I have been cold conditioning, just trying to get my body. I know, Myra, you're shaking your head right now. Get my body adjusted to the cold. That's a whole topic for a whole nother day. Okay, we are at Morgan's Wonderland Camp. I mentioned earlier, a lot of you know of Morgan's Wonderland. What about Morgan's Wonderland Camp? This is an entire camp experience. I mean, even the bunks. Look off over my shoulder here. They've got dozens of bunks here that are fully adapted for any kind of special need or ability. Bunks that are really low, so folks in wheelchairs can easily get in and out. Bathroom facilities within those bunks that can be accommodated to everybody. Anybody, no matter what you need, no matter what the adaptation or special need is, or if you don't and have any special needs, it's fine. You can come here as well. This is for everybody. It's recently opened. It got booked up really quickly initially. And by the way, it is also opening up just to the general public, like you see Gordon in the commercials, where everybody can play. And so we're up here getting a nice overview. And that land back behind me is likely to never be developed. So it's going to be this quiet nature setting when you look out from the fire pit here at Joy's Compass. And this is just a small fraction of what we have going on around here. The amphitheater off behind the camera. We've got the swimming pool facilities, specially adapted bicycle facility down there as well. I could go on and on. Main point, 7 o'clock, right after this newscast, our annual gala starts. Hey, slow weather out there right now, but it's beautiful. I'll take it. Take a look at our day today. 46 earlier this morning for our low temperature. That was in San Antonio, but in the hill country, we had some 30s. By the afternoon, we made it up to 80 degrees. It's that dry air. Cools off quickly, warms up quickly as well. You look across the state, and quite a variety, from near 90 down in Brownsville to the 60s up in North Texas. You can tell there was a boundary right across the center of the state earlier today. That is now moving through our neck of the woods. Temperatures currently starting to settle down, some 70s and 60s in our area, and they'll continue to drop rapidly. So I know I'm not setting a good example right now with my short sleeves, but in an hour or two, even I'm gonna want to put the jacket on, or at least some long sleeves. Dew points, of course, 20s behind that boundary, so falling off quickly. Okay, let's get right to our forecast here. This is what you can expect. As we go through the evening, temperatures falling quickly through the 50s, then into the 40s, and this is what the map should look like tomorrow morning. Early risers, low to mid 40s, even some upper 30s in the hill country. Get to Timberwood Park about 39, Bernie 39, 41, 42, Lavernia, Elmendorf area. You get the idea. Low temperatures will be rebounding, but not until after the weekend. That's next week when morning temperatures are back up to 60 degrees. This weekend, we'll have high temperatures, upper 60s tomorrow. By Sunday afternoon, just like today, well into the 70s, even near 80 degrees. A hint of humidity returns early next week. That should cause some areas of morning fog. And another weak cold front moves through late Wednesday, early Thursday, just modifying our temperatures from the low 80s back down closer to 70, closer to this time next week. And I talked about it a little bit last night. I want to mention it again. The main storm track across all of North America is far to the north of us, so our rain chances are looking very slim here for the foreseeable future. Just a 20% chance, maybe, if we're lucky, early next Thursday. 7 o'clock here on KSAT 12, streaming live afterwards. There's even choreography involved. Yes, there is. We'll see you there.
You know, we're tuning in for that.
Yeah, I'm not missing that.
For sure.
Not at all.
Can you give us a little something before you go? Oh, all right, I'll take it.
He's not flossing, so that means he's really worked on this.
That's right.
Thanks, Adam. All right, let's turn to sports now. We're getting down to the final weeks of the regular high school football season. That means Larry's on the road. Let's go live to Rutledge Stadium. Hey, Larry.
Hey guys, you know, how do I follow that up? I do not have moves like Adam Caskey, that is for sure. Hey, we are live here at Rutledge Stadium, and we are about 41 minutes away from kickoff between the Bulldogs and the Battling Billies. I'm talking Somerset and Fredericksburg. Now, Somerset comes into this game with some momentum, whereas Fredericksburg is a little upset heading into this 4A D1 by-district matchup. We got it coming up next. Good evening, everybody, and welcome live to Rutledge Stadium in Converse, home of the Judson Rockets, for a neutral site playoff game tonight between the Somerset Bulldogs and the Fredericksburg Battling Billies. It is playoff time, folks. That means it is win or go home. Led by head coach Coy Detmer, the Bulldogs finished the regular season 8-2 overall, 3-1 in District 14 4A1, good for second place behind the Bernie Greyhounds. Somerset won 2 straight to close out the regular season. The Bulldogs have now achieved one of their goals: make the playoffs.
It's always exciting and you know, a real fulfilling thing when you see the hard work that the kids put in, starting all the way back in off season, things like that, and then for them to pay off and have success and get in the playoffs. You know, it's very rewarding.
I think it's very exciting to, you know, see the fruits of our labor, you know, making it back into playoffs. We haven't been since my freshman year, but it feels good going into playoffs.
The 2-year playoff drought is over for the Somerset Bulldogs. They earned the 2nd seed in District 14 4A1 this season, and the Dogs are ready to make some noise.
it's a new start, a new season. It's the postseason, so we're just preparing for a long run. We're preparing for multiple games, not just this one, but our mind is on Fredericksburg right now, so we're ready.
Quarterback Cole Detmer said he feels the Bulldogs have done a great job this season at getting better each week, growing and learning. And now the Bulldogs hope to get better again this week against a tough team in the Battling Billies.
We know they're tough. We know they're fast. We know they have something to play for, and we also have something to play for.
We've been watching a lot of film on them, and so we know what we need to come with and how we need to execute, and I think we're going to get it done.
We know it's going to be a great program that we're up against in Fredericksburg, and we're going to go to work and see what we can do. But we know it's going to be a challenging game, that's for sure.
Yeah, Coach Detmer is right about that. This will be a challenging contest tonight because Fredericksburg is a very tough team, and they are angry heading into this 4A D1 by-district matchup. And that's because the Battling Billies wrapped up the regular season 6-4 overall, while going 3-2 in District 13 4A1, good for the third seed. Led by head coach Lance Moffitt, the Battling Billies enter this game with something to prove because, and here's the reason why they're mad, they dropped their regular season finale last Friday, 52-42 to Lampasas. And that L has them fired up.
Certainly, we've got a little bit of a bad taste in our mouth because we lost the last game. So I also like that we're a little bit hungry. I think we're a little bit ticked off about losing the last game of the season and at our home field and all of that stuff. So I like that too. I think that gives us a little bit of an edge in terms of how we're hoping to perform anyway.
Are you guys ticked following that loss last week, ticked off?
Yes, sir. Yeah, we definitely are. We really expected to win that game, and we feel like we should have. And, after that game, a lot of us seniors met, and, we're not going to let it end. That's our deal. We didn't have a good taste in our mouth after last week, so we're not super happy right now.
What do you need to do? Because I know you have that nasty taste in your mouth from that loss. What do you guys need to do this week better than last week?
We need to physically punish our opponent, thinking that they can go toe-to-toe with us. They should not be able to hang with us. All right, we should be firing on all cylinders.
Is that important to you guys to set that physical tone?
Absolutely.
What do you know about Somerset and what's it going to take to beat them?
Somerset does a lot of tricky motion plays at the beginning of snap. So getting our keys right and figuring out who's eligible, ineligible, who needs to be where, who needs to be covering who is really going to make a difference on the defensive side of the ball.
Check out the road trip tonight. After this game, we'll head over to New Braunfels Canyon for Blanco and Jernton in a 3A D1 by-district matchup. And we'll end the night in Seguin for a 4A D1 by-district playoff game between Lavernia and Austin Johnson. Highlights on the night beat, and after that at BigGameCoverage.com. All right, it is time now to go live to Comalander Stadium for QB1 and QB2. I'm talking David and RJ. Guys?
Which one is QB1 and which one is QB2? Still to be determined.
I guess so, yeah. We'll take it either way.
Yeah, hey, welcome to Comalander Stadium. 3 things I know for sure. Time change, so it's dark at kickoff. The wind is blowing. That's number 2 from the north. You can see the flags starting to blow a little bit, which means it's going to get a little colder as the night goes on, which means it's time for week 1 of high school football playoffs here at Comalander and all over San Antonio and South Texas.
And we are ready to go, David. We got East Central taking on Reagan. So this is the Sting versus the Strike matchup. The Rattlers taking on the Hornets out here. And East Central, surprise season. Shout out to these guys. They have done a great job. Reagan, usually in the playoffs, so they're getting set for another long run here, hopefully, for both schools here out here.
I think there are 3 undefeated teams in the San Antonio area that are playing tonight in the playoffs, so that's going to be fun. Got a great lineup. Of course, we'll have all the highlights for you later on KSAT 12 Night Beat, and we're about to go live. Well, we are live. We're live streaming, right?
Yeah, we're going to be live on KSAT.com, also Facebook's KSAT 12 page. And again, you can watch all these games. Week 1, the Texas High School Football Playoffs going on here, starting out with the BGC app.
Myra and Steve, it is party time, playoff style.
Steve in the house.
QB1 and QB2. A different dynamic duo here tonight. We'll be right back with our KSAT Q&A. It is a condition that so many San Antonians live with every single day. And now there is new evidence that a COVID-19 infection could increase your risk for getting diabetes. Dr. Alberto Chavez with UT Health San Antonio and University Health joining us today to educate us on the topic of diabetes. We're in the middle of a month that's meant to raise awareness about the condition. So let's start with defining it. A lot of people know it has something to do with insulin, sugars, but tell us what diabetes is and how it affects the body.
Yes, thank you for having me. And so, diabetes is a chronic condition. First of all, it's a condition that unfortunately affects a huge amount of the population of San Antonio, Texas, and the whole United States. So it is characterized by an increase in the amount of sugar in the blood. But this is not the only problem. The problem is this chronic exposure to high levels of sugar to the tissues. It goes and creates a lot of damage that at the end, it increases the risk of having cardiovascular disease, to have microvascular complications like blindness, kidney failure, circulatory problems that manifest as risk of amputations and as a whole sort of debilitating conditions.
And COVID, right? Because we understand now that COVID, obviously, relatively new disease, so there's not much that we really understand about its impact on the difference between type 1 and type 2 diabetes. But we do understand that people who are diabetic are a higher risk of more complications if they do get COVID.
Absolutely. You know, we've seen a lot of patients who, unfortunately, they were on the borderline between what we call pre-diabetes and diabetes, and they happen to have COVID, and then they have transitioned to a full-blown diabetes condition. Definitely COVID is a very big risk factor to not only to progress from pre-diabetes to diabetes, but also to have those patients who have diabetes and get the COVID disease. They are at risk of having a more severe form of the condition and get extremely sick. So there's definitely an association, and day by day we learn more about this association.
Now, you just mentioned pre-diabetes. So this is something that a lot of people might get diagnosed with. I'm just wondering if there's a turning point, or if you could reverse course. If the doctor tells you you're pre-diabetic, do you have time? What do you do if you can, prevent getting diabetes?
Absolutely, yes. Prediabetes is a condition that, for practical purposes, when you have prediabetes, your body's already behaving like it's diabetic. The problem is that it hasn't made the number based on the criteria that we use for diagnosed diabetes. But 1 in 10 patients with prediabetes will have retinopathy. This is damage to the eye. About 15% of patients with prediabetes will have neuropathy, will have microalbuminuria, which is the very, very early stages of kidney failure. So this condition can linger in the body for years before it's even identified. But the damage, the complications, and all the risk factors associated to diabetes, they can be already seen in the pre-diabetic condition. So it's of critical importance to identify those people who are in the pre-diabetic range, because, of course, the foundation is to make changes in the lifestyle. Those persons with overweight, to try to help them to lose some weight, to change the way we eat. But there is a subset of the population that are at such an extreme risk that actually lifestyle interventions may not be enough. There might be a role for actually to use medicines. And at the Texas Diabetes Institute, we have a very large initiative to trying to prevent diabetes by using medications on people at the high risk. So it is very important to identify these people early as possible.
With such a high percentage of people in our community living with diabetes, somebody who doesn't have it probably knows someone who does. They might be related to someone who does. So talk about what role family history of diabetes may play in all of this.
Yeah, particularly both for type 1 and for type 2 diabetes, family history has a big impact. But this is particularly important in type 2. This is the diabetes of the adult, the diabetes that begins years before you get the high blood glucose levels. So family history is very important. So if someone has one of the parents has type 2 diabetes, the risk of having diabetes in your lifetime is about roughly 50%. If both of your parents have type 2 diabetes, your risk it can go as high as 70-80% to be diabetic in the lifetime. Of course, this can be prevented or delayed, but there is a huge genetic component to type 2 diabetes specifically.
And what do you tell people in this community? Because the truth of the matter is that often, because you hear about it so much, so that so many people know people who have diabetes, it just doesn't sound like a big deal when someone is diagnosed. So how do you as a doctor try to fight that and say, actually, this is a huge deal if you do have it, because down the line, this increases your chance of just other complications?
Exactly. And just because it's so prevalent, we are concerned that it's not probably given the seriousness as it should. We always approach the patients, see, when you are diagnosed with diabetes, it's not only one individual that gets diagnosed with diabetes. So the whole family is going to be is going to have an impact. So the person who gets diagnosed in the family, that's kind of the index case. So that should trigger a red flag for the rest of the family if they are not diabetic yet, to start changes, because there is a huge genetic component that the whole family is going to benefit from actually making interventions to prevent the other members of the family to get it. So I think it's very important to make an emphasis and to try to make an impact at the family level.
It is common, but it does not have to be. Dr. Alberto Chavez with UT Health San Antonio and University Health, thanks for your time here this evening.
Thank you so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
Welcome back, everyone. Tell you about a major crash here. This is a US 90 eastbound at 35. Just popped up just about 20 minutes ago. You can see a major lane closure there. That fire truck is still there with all the lights, and it's kind of hard to make out exactly what's going on there, but you can definitely see the backup in the traffic. So let's look at that. 9 miles per hour approaching I-35. So that's something to look out for this evening. Also have some major delays coming in from the east. 63 minutes coming in from Seguin, about an hour from New Braunfels into downtown. Couple of delays on I-10. Also a couple of delays on 35. So if you're coming into town this evening from out the east, just keep that in mind. Might want to start heading this way if you're coming into town. But again, this is sort of the big crash we have that we can see at the moment. This again, US 90 at 35 south of downtown. Major backup there, as you can see. So we'll keep an eye on it throughout the rest of this newscast. Myra, Stephania.
All right, Sam, thank you so much. And now let's take it outside, Myra.
Look outside right now, 68 degrees. It has been a beautiful week. We are looking forward to what's hopefully a beautiful weekend. Adam Caskey will have your forecast from Morgan's Wonderland camp coming up. All right, we promised Adam Caskey out of Morgan's Wonderland, but his choreography might have broken the camera. We're really not sure. So we have Mike Osterhage here in studio with us.
That's right.
Give us the rundown.
Yeah, and there's so much going on this weekend, Mike, that that people are kind of making their plans right now. So, get us up to speed.
And yes, indeed. Oh, wait. We were trying to get everything all worked out here. Yeah, there is a ton going on this weekend, and it is absolutely going to be fantastic. This is like 3 weekends in a row. Starting with Halloween weekend, we had perfect weather. Last weekend, we had perfect weather, and this weekend is going to be perfect as well. And starting off perfect this evening, we're at 68 degrees right now. The dew point's at 47, and we got down to 46 this morning, but portions of the hill country were at 37 degrees. It was really, really cold out there, and that's thanks to all that very, very dry air. It does not hold the heat in very well, but it heats up very quickly, and that's why we did make it up to 80. So we gained a good, 30 plus degrees throughout the day. That's going to be the situation now once we heat it up and things are dropping off very quickly. So again, 68 degrees right now. We've actually dropped. Usually we get these updates, and unless a big strong front moves on through here, it's only updated kind of like every hour as far as current temperatures, but it was 70 at the top of the hour. Now it's down to 68 degrees and will continue to drop off. So about 62 once we get to 8 o'clock, 56 at 10 o'clock, and 52 degrees, clear skies by midnight. So as far as the low temperatures tomorrow morning, 44 degrees, and then it's going to be a very beautiful, beautiful afternoon, and we're going to see some more 30s in portions of the hill country. And as far as low temperatures coming up this week, notice the big change. nice and crisp and cool over the weekend, and then we are going to be having low temperatures stay in the 60s, and that means more humidity moving on in here. So tomorrow, yeah, just a great looking day. Hey, back to tonight. Are we going to head out there to Adam? Because I know he was going to dance a little bit. So you got the old dancing boots going on there?
Oh, gosh. Oh, I got the moves all right. I'm saving them for during the program here. But they are TikTok moves. I'll give you a tease. A little fancy like Applebee's on a date night. Yeah, we had to learn that dance. And let me just tell you, I can do it all now right now. Leslie Mouton, it's comical. My wife fell out of her chair laughing in the kitchen as I did it for her. My kids told me, yeah, Dad, please don't do that at the bus stop. So you know what's gonna happen. I'm naturally gonna do it at the bus stop. So we're up now here at Hartman Hall. This is the main hall where they work with the SA Food Bank and their trainee chefs to prepare food. And they also have a Bexar County Sheriff's Service station here because they wanted to fill a gap between some of their stations. So they also have that here. And this is the main hall where a lot of the big camp activities take place. I was just backstage, and that's where they have all the fun props and costumes and all the good stuff for all the activities that they do that are indoors. But there's a lot, of course, outdoors where kids can get outside again. Any ability, any disability, doesn't matter. It's for everybody, a camp experience. You may have noticed on Hartman Hall that sign, established 2021. That's how new this is. So Mike, 7 o'clock, it starts right here on KSAT 12, and then the in-person program at 8. I'll see y'all there. And I'll teach you the moves next.
Am I going to have to do it? You said your wife was on the ground laughing, on the floor laughing?
Oh, yeah.
Fell out of your chair. Okay, and the kids won't do it. Yeah, I got the same thing for my kids sometimes when I'm playing air drums. They're like, Dad, people see you in the car playing air drums. It's like, anyway, I know how you feel. 68 degrees tomorrow for a high temperature. So we get this little reinforcing shot of some cool air coming in here this evening, and that's going to pull in much drier air. And yeah, we stay a good 10, 12 degrees cooler than what it was today. So we will be below normal tomorrow for a high temperature. And then Sunday sort of rebounds 77, and a little bit more humidity is going to try and ease back in here. And as you saw those low temperatures and what they're going to be doing then as we go into next week, like I said, staying in the 60s, that means more humidity because you can't drop down below what those old dew point temperatures are, and those are going to be going up. And high temperatures are also going to be staying in the 80s. And that's through the middle part of the week, but some salvation, yet another front that's going to be coming through here may squeeze out a shower or two by Thursday. And it looks like perhaps another good-looking weekend next weekend. We'll have to wait and see on that one.
But we need that rain. All right, Mike.
Yeah, we really do. Yeah, we could use some rain. So.
And Mike, good to see you at 6 o'clock.
I know. I'm surprised I'm still awake.
It was a little impromptu, but hey.
I'm surprised I'm still awake at this hour, so.
In case you missed it, coming up next. Here's today's In Case You Missed It.
Good morning, everybody. It is Friday, November 12th. New this morning, a man is dead after a crash on the city's north side. It happened around 6 yesterday on Braesview at Northwest Military. And that's where police say 20-year-old Caleb Krachunas was on his motorcycle when he was hit by a pickup truck.
Fernando Rojas is accused in the shooting deaths of Jonathan Phan and Serena K. Bain. They were killed back in August in southeast Bexar County. Bexar County investigators believe that the shooting was a result of a domestic dispute that escalated.
State University student being charged with arson for a fire at an Austin synagogue. 18-year-old Franklin Sechrist has been arrested for allegedly setting fire to Congregation Beth Israel.
Yes, we are kicking off the weekend the right way, and it's all about inclusion tonight. We are at the brand new and very spiffy Morgan's Wonderland camp. This is just one part of it here in the stables area. We've got a horse riding arena. We've got the stockyards with a bunch of animals in there, from piglets to chickens to snakes, bearded dragon, even a baby tortoise. Yeah, baby tortoise. That thing will be here probably 100 years or more.
And if you are staying home this holiday season, the city has a present for you. The holiday lights on the Riverwalk are going to light up early this year to kick off the start of the holiday season. There are over 100,000 holiday lights along the Riverwalk. They'll be coming on at dusk today. Over 200 trees are going to be lit up on the Riverwalk for the holidays, and your walk across 30 bridges lit up as well with holiday cheer. The lights are 100% energy efficient LEDs. Crews started putting up the lights around Labor Day. It took about 5 weeks to put all of them up.
Welcome back. Just another reminder about some of the delays coming in. If you're coming in from New Braunfels or Seguin into San Antonio tonight, still looking at around an hour, a little more than an hour. Got a couple of red spots there, especially I-10 approaching Loop 1604. We've been watching the situation on Highway 90 approaching 35. You can see that slowdown remains, but the good news is the crash is cleared. The lanes just reopened here within the past couple of minutes or so. That's still a lot of traffic, so keep that in mind, Mike, if you are heading out and about tonight.
And if you are heading out and about, make sure you have a jacket. It's going to cool down quickly. We're at 67 degrees right now, and then down to 45 again tomorrow morning. Another really cold 130s in the hill country, up to 77 then on Sunday. So we will start that warming process tomorrow. Again, only upper 60s for a high temperature, and then that's going to be the end of it, because start of the work week, the humidity is going to come back in here, and we are going to have very warm, low temperatures, morning fog. Hopefully a front brings some rain by Thursday.
Good thing it's Friday. Enjoy your weekend. Thank you so much for joining us.
Yeah, this is a first. Look at us.
Yeah.
First time.
There you go. Boom.